Ever wonder how societal norms shape our values and beliefs? Society is like an unseen artist, painting the canvas of our minds with its hues of shoulds and should nots. These norms subtly weave themselves into the fabric of our thoughts, influencing our views, attitudes, and ultimately our actions. They're like the air we breathe, omnipresent yet often unnoticed. Now imagine that some of these norms, rather than promoting unity and understanding, can foster prejudice. One such prejudice, often hidden beneath the surface, is queerphobia. It's a term that's not familiar to all, but its effects are widely felt, particularly within the LGBTQ+ community. This bias against queer individuals is not born out of malice or ill will. It's simply a byproduct of societal norms that we've unknowingly internalized. Now consider how these norms might affect our children, especially those who identify as queer. Queerphobia, a term you may not be familiar with, holds immense significance in our society. Now let's break down what queerphobia means. In simple terms, it's an irrational fear or hatred of people who identify outside of traditional gender or sexual norms. This includes individuals who are lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and others who fall under the wide umbrella of the queer community. Queerphobia is like a chameleon. It changes its colors depending on the environment. It can manifest in overt ways, like hate speech and discriminatory laws. But it can also subtly infiltrate our daily lives through microaggressions, stereotypes, and even the silence around queer identities. But what's even more insidious is when queerphobia becomes internalized. Imagine constantly being fed the message that there's something inherently wrong with you, that you don't fit into the norm society has set. This message can be absorbed and internalized, leading to self-doubt, self-hatred, and a profound sense of isolation among queer individuals. What does internalized queerphobia look like? It could be a subtle cringe when someone uses a gender-neutral pronoun. It might be a feeling of discomfort or denial when questioning one's own gender or sexual orientation. It could be a deep-seated belief that one's queer identity is a burden, something to be hidden or changed. The effects of internalized queerphobia are far-reaching and severe. It can lead to mental health issues such as anxiety, depression, and even suicidal thoughts. It can also result in a person denying their true identity, leading a life that feels inauthentic and unfulfilled. Now, let's bring this a little closer to home. Imagine the impact this could have on a child grappling with their identity, a child who is still figuring out who they are in a world that's already decided what's normal and what's not. It's a heavy burden to bear, isn't it? But remember, understanding is the first step towards change. And change, though challenging, is always possible. Imagine the impact this could have on a child grappling with their identity. For transgender children, navigating societal norms can be an uphill battle. Imagine walking a tightrope where every step must be measured, every move scrutinized. That's the reality for many transgender children. They find themselves on a narrow path, balancing between their authentic selves and societal expectations, often with the weight of internalized queerphobia tipping the scales. Internalized queerphobia, an often overlooked aspect of the transgender experience, is the internalization of negative societal attitudes towards the queer community. It's like a shadow that follows these children, casting doubts and fostering negative self-perceptions. This can exacerbate the already challenging journey of self-discovery and self-acceptance that transgender children must undertake. Imagine for a moment being a young child filled with uncertainty about their identity, trying to navigate the world. Now, add the burden of internalized queerphobia, which whispers that their feelings are wrong, that they are wrong. It's like being lost in a labyrinth, where every turn seems to lead to more confusion and isolation. Internalized queerphobia can manifest in several ways. It can lead to self-doubt, self-loathing, and even self-denial. It can make transgender children feel like they are fighting a battle within themselves, creating a sense of dissonance and distress. It can also lead to feelings of shame and guilt, reinforcing the harmful notion that their identity is something to be hidden or suppressed. But this isn't just about the struggles, it's also about resilience. Despite these challenges, transgender children often demonstrate remarkable strength and courage. They are like small boats in a storm, battered by waves but refusing to sink. They continue to assert their identities, to live authentically, even in the face of adversity. However, they shouldn't have to navigate this storm alone. As adults, as parents, it's our responsibility to provide them with a safe harbor, a place where they can be themselves without fear of judgment or rejection. It becomes our duty as parents to create a safer space for these children. Parents play a key role in shaping a child's understanding of societal norms. Every gesture, every word, every reaction becomes a lesson, a brick in the foundation of a child's worldview. And sometimes, without even realizing it, parents can pass on their own internalized prejudices and biases to their kids. Let's take a moment to consider this. Imagine a world where our biases and prejudices are like a pair of glasses that we wear. These glasses tint our view of the world, skewing our perception and understanding. And often, we don't even realize we're wearing them. Now imagine handing these glasses to your child. Without question, without hesitation, they put them on, seeing the world through the same skewed lens. This is how internalized prejudices, like queerphobia, can be passed from one generation to the next. Parents might not even realize they're doing it. They may believe they're simply teaching their kids about the world, about right and wrong. But in reality, they're passing on their own fears, their own misunderstandings. So, how do we break this cycle? It begins with self-awareness and education. Parents need to recognize their own biases and prejudices and work actively to dismantle them. This can be a difficult process. It requires introspection, and sometimes it means unlearning beliefs we've held for a lifetime. But the effort is worth it. Education plays a critical role as well. Parents should educate themselves about different sexual orientations and gender identities. They should seek out resources, engage in dialogues, and strive to understand experiences that may be different from their own. By doing so, they can create a nurturing environment for their children, an environment where children feel seen, understood, and accepted for who they are. An environment where they can explore their identities without fear of judgment or rejection. In the end, it's about creating a nurturing environment for our children to grow. It's about giving them the freedom to discover and embrace their true selves, free from the biases and prejudices that have been passed down for generations. Scene script: change begins at home, and it starts with us. The journey towards understanding and acceptance is not a sprint, but a marathon. It's a process that requires time, patience, and most importantly, a willingness to learn and grow. Here are some steps you can take to start this journey. The first step is education. This involves reading up on queer issues and understanding the diverse experiences of the LGBTQ+ community. There's a wealth of resources available, from books and articles to documentaries and podcasts. These will help you gain insight into the struggles, triumphs, and everyday realities of queer individuals. The second step is to attend workshops or seminars. These sessions, often facilitated by LGBTQ+ organizations or allies, offer a safe space to ask questions, address concerns, and learn from experts in the field. They also provide an opportunity to meet other parents who are on a similar journey, fostering a sense of community and shared understanding. The third step is having open conversations with your children. This might be the most challenging step, but it's also the most crucial. It's important to let your children know that they can talk to you about anything, including their feelings, identities, and experiences. It's not about having all the answers, but about listening, validating their feelings, and offering support. The fourth step is to practice empathy and kindness, both towards your child and towards yourself. Remember, you're not expected to be perfect. It's okay to make mistakes as long as you're willing to learn from them. The final step is to advocate for your child, in your home, in their school, and in your community. Stand up against queerphobia and discrimination, and use your voice to promote a culture of acceptance and inclusivity. Remember, every step we take towards understanding and acceptance makes a difference. Each stride forward, no matter how small, contributes to a more accepting, supportive, and loving environment for our children. And isn't that what we all want for them? The journey towards understanding and acceptance is a continuous one. It's not a one-time act, but a commitment to lifelong learning and growth. As parents, your role in this journey is paramount. It's not just about accepting your child for who they are, but also about challenging the societal norms that shape our perceptions and behaviors. Continually educate yourself about the diverse and beautiful spectrum of human identities. Engage in dialogues, read, and listen to the stories of those who have walked the path before you. The knowledge you gain will not only benefit your child, but also contribute to a broader understanding and acceptance within society. Your support to your child is invaluable. It's the beacon that guides them through the fog of societal expectations and norms. It's the armor that shields them from the harsh realities of prejudice and discrimination. So take that step today. Educate yourself, support your child, and together we can make a difference.